I want to talk though about Mason Greenwood, and like I said, I'm still figuring out very much in real time how I feel about this situation. And what isn't up for debate is how I feel about Mason Greenwood. I'm very clear in that and have been since the recordings and pictures and everything about that led to the accusations that he faced and subsequently were dropped. Um, I want to be clear on saying that the accusations were dropped rather than he was cleared of the accusations, which he was not. But it's how I feel about Man United because no matter what the controversy throughout the years and how I felt about the club and everything involved, I've still remained very firm and steadfast in my support for Man United as a whole. And this is perhaps the first time in my lifelong support of them. And to be clear, I am a lifer. I'm spending my Halloween this year going to see Eric Cantona in concert. That's how much of a lifelong fan I am. Um, Ever since I was a child, I kind of hiccuped at the start, you know what I mean? Couldn't decide who I wanted. But then once I stuck with United, I stuck with them for life then. But for the first time ever, no matter what the controversy has been, no matter if it's been the Glazers, the Alex Ferguson fallout that he had with JP Morgan and everything around that, I've stayed true to Man United, even if I have disagreed with some of the decisions they've made. But this is different because I'm not committing to anything here. I'm not saying I'm not going to be a Man United fan going forward. I don't know how I'm going to feel, and I still have to hear them make a full decision and give reasoning behind it. I don't think I'm going to agree with it, no matter what they say, if they decide to bring Mason Greenwood back. But here's why I'm questioning if I can support them going forward. I want to continue. I don't know any other way to watch Premier League football than through the lens of being a Man United fan. And watching Premier League football is one of my favorite hobbies. It was difficult enough with Ronaldo and with people that have played for teams that I've supported that have faced accusations. But here, this isn't just an accusation. This is something where we've heard audio that hasn't been disputed or disproved as anything but what it was presented as, even by the involved parties. We've seen pictures, again, which haven't been disputed for being what they were presented as. I don't, and I consider what I watch football for, and that is for enjoyment, for release. It is for seeing the joy of my team win and score goals and this and that and the other. And there's just no way for me to be able to enjoy watching Man United and celebrating their successes if Mason Greenwood is central to that and is a part of that. It gives me an uncomfortable feeling that I've had with players before, like Ronaldo, who faced accusations where I'm still supporting the team, but I'm not supporting them. And that's kind of weird. And I don't know how to feel. But again, there's that kind of element where I can say nothing has been proven. There is a dispute there, again, entitled to innocence until proven guilty and stuff like that again. But this isn't that. This is something where it's very clear what the situation is. And this is just a sad situation of why so few people who face similar accusations are actually convicted criminally, and that's the story that's happening here. Make no mistake about it, whatever you want to tell yourself, and if you tell yourself otherwise, I'm going to be honest, I said this on Twitter last week, I just wonder what you've done. I'm like, what did that person do that they're trying to make light of all this situation? And again, with the amount that we know that this behavior is prevalent, it's probably a safe assumption that there's a lot to that conclusion that I'm making. But again, that's all conjecture and that's all speculation. But with Mason Greenwood, there is no such. We've heard the videos, we've seen the pictures, and I just won't enjoy watching Man United if he is a part of them. So I'm praying that the backlash that has ensued since a lot of the great reporting from The Athletic, by the way, has called a lot of the board out and called even Eric Ten Hag out, who is a manager who I've greatly enjoyed watching Man United under and who I've, from a football perspective, respected. But if what's reported turns out to be the case, and I do believe the reporting that he is eager to get Mason Greenwood back simply because he's good at football, and is willing to overlook everything else and tell himself whatever lies he needs to tell himself, like he's young, he deserves a second chance, and blah, blah, blah. And again, I'm not saying that people can't redeem themselves. I'm not saying that people can't do horrible things, but then go on to become, substantial members of society and learn from their mistakes and atone for them and this and that and the other. I just don't necessarily have to actively support those people. I'm not saying they don't get to live a life. I'm not even saying that Mason Greenwood should never play football again. I'm just saying I don't want to support him. And that's where I'm at. And I don't know if I can support Man United. And I don't know if I'm saying anything that you haven't heard already. When I'm in situations like this, I need to hear how other people feel to maybe help me understand it. So I just want to add my own thoughts and feelings to the mix. And I don't know if it'll help anyone. I don't know if it's just going to get me involved in a culture war. I really hope it doesn't. I can't be arsed dealing with idiots on Twitter or X or whatever you call it. But that's how I feel. And I just want that out.